We are rapidly approaching the end of Season 0 for Axie Infinity Origin, and it's worth looking at what has been some of the best builds. And today we have Panda, who is currently rank 2 using a PUFFY build. Of course, there are some other Axies complementing this team, but it's worth looking at how PUFFY can be utilized at the absolute maximum. So let's jump into some of the games. Now firstly, let's have a look at the runes. Obviously there is a bloodlust on the PUFFY. If you can get your hands on that rune, you will be flying through the ranks, most likely. Now in the middle, what does he have is a solo Heart of the Ocean, which gives you an extra bubble, and whenever your bubble bomb detonates, you have extra damage, or double the damage, right? So effectively, if you get a double bomb from this Axie, you can deal 120 damage, because bubble bomb deals 20. Now you double it, it deals 40, and then it deals 40 to all of your opponents. And what Panda decides to go for is an ethereal from the PUFFY, which has a bubble paste. He also has a bubble paste on the jelly tackle, which means that he can get those bubble bombs stacking, and he can detonate it with his middle Axie. So let's just go through this team and see how it goes through. At the front, he also has a Pangolin scale on his beast, so that's also useful. 95 damage, and you can see already 2 bubbles being on that mid lane. I bet you he also has a bubble paste here. No, looks like he decides to go for a retain on his Nemo so that he can set up the right combos. His opponent does go for a little bit of a retaliation when it comes to the damage. Now you can see that he has a bubble bomb already. He might be looking to stack up 2 bubble bombs and explode them all at once, so he deals effectively 240 damage, but we'll see how that will progress. Pigeon post, always nice to have, because you ruin your opponent's hand. He has to keep drawing that blackmail, and if he doesn't want to play it, well, he's gonna have less cards every turn. And when you are running an endless anger backlane, you really don't want to run that blackmail just in case that beast dies. Also, same goes for PUFFY. You want to keep your PUFFY healthy, so you don't really want to play that blackmail. So running 2 blackmails, also a really good choice. Plenty of zero cost cards as well. He does have the Larva, which is a 0 cost. He has the Nemo, which is a 0 cost. There's also the Confident, the Cottontail, plenty of 0 cost cards that are a skill. Now why is that important that they are a skill? Because he does have a Larva on his Nemo, and if you read through the Larva, it says that you scry 2 cards and you gain 1 energy if you discard a skilled card upon crying, right? So you gain 1 energy, and look at the amount of energy that he has right now. He goes for the Larva, he goes for the Nemo, and he is sitting on 5 energy. So he can go for the PUFFY, he can go for the Puff. You can see that 40 damage each. Now he goes for the Puff, 66 damage with the extra 15 from the Bloodlust, and goes for PUFFY as well, dealing quite a lot of damage with that as well, effectively around 190 damage, maybe around 200. So plenty of value from the Larva as well as the Nemo, and the front lane of Snack Club or Airman TV is dead already. Now it's not looking as smooth as I thought it would be, but still looking quite confident for Panda now. The beast at the back does have a taunt, only 6 stacks of rage, so we'll see where he can go with that. Jelly tackle dealing 90 damage, actually 100 damage. Same goes for the ethereal crab, 100 damage. Bubble bomb dealing 40, and that beast is down to 15 health. There's also 2 bubbles on the mid lane, so if you can get 1 more bubble bomb, that beast will be dead, and same goes for the aqua. So as long as this one doesn't die this turn, which I think it will, and Panda does have an easy win. And despite his mid lane dying at 2 bubbles, he still will take this game down just because of the health advantage that he is sitting at. Now remember that he never played a baby, right? Because he had the ethereal crab in round 1, and that is more important to play when you have bubble paste on it than to play a baby, because with that ethereal you're just gonna get more value. You get bubbles and you get the extra damage, and your card with bubble paste also doesn't disappear. So it's very important to play it when you have a team like that, and when you can play that ethereal rather than the baby when you're just sitting at 1 energy in round 1. So an easy win for Ant Panda. Maybe not that easy as it might have seemed, but the larva giving you that 5 energy, and you can just slap that Puffy for 5 energy, which he didn't do, but he could have. It's just very, very satisfying to see. And let's jump into some more games to see how a Puffy can be utilized to the absolute maximum. In game number 2, Ant Panda is facing up versus a beast at the front with Pangolin Scale, as well as a double plant backlane and mid lane. Now, these plants are relatively cheap to buy, but they do have the Rosa, which makes them very, very good for 1v1 and 2v2 scenarios, as they can disable you for 1 turn. So let's see whether this team, which looks quite cheap compared to what Ant Panda is running. But what's really important is the runes and charms that you can get, which, as you can see, he does have plenty of max HP beast charms on that beast, right? So getting that health all the way to 350, but he's running a double tough strike on those plants, so it's not like they are all epic or mystic runes. Turn 3, going for the series, dealing 105 damage, another series 82 damage. Plenty of damage on these cards. He only has those +2 damage charms, so it's not like he's running something incredibly good. We see the ethereal coming through as always with the bubble paste. There was already a bubble bomb sitting on that mid lane, and we'll see whether he decides to use it in the upcoming turns or whether he's going to try and stack them up to be a little bit more effective. Cactus coming through with 78 damage and putting a taunt on the back lane plant. Now he can go for the carrot and he can go for the peacemaker as well, while not using the cottontail. Putting a weak on that mid lane, always good. Now I'm not sure why he went for that cottontail. I think it's only to heal up that front lane, which can be a good play because it's not gonna die as quickly. With the Pangolin Scale, I believe you need 2 cards to finish it off at 67 health rather than just the 1. So now the Arco Carrot coming through. Carrot, an incredibly good card with the tough strike, right? 50 damage, and you also get that energy. Ronin coming through as well with 125 damage, and now it's getting very close. And Panda is sitting at 320 health, and his opponent is very low on all 3 of his axes. So we'll see whether Ant Panda can bring this back. 89 damage coming through with the Puffy, left on just 10 HP. That mid lane, also the back lane 94 and vulnerable, but what we do have is a Rosa, right? So Goldfish, Confusion is gonna come through, and then a Rosa as well, meaning that the Puffy on the back lane can't really do anything, which is a great card draw for those plants. Right now this Puffy is sitting there doing absolutely nothing. He can go for the revenge cards still, but he only gets 2 of them. If he had 3, that would have been a win. With just 2, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to finish that backlane off, and Klein can go for the finishing blow if he does draw some decent cards. And it looks like with the Cactus, Carrot and Sirius, he will be able to do just that. And Ant Panda loses this game, so you can see that there is still counters to teams like that, but you need to have a very specific set of cards. And now with 6 possible cards being there, it's more difficult to get a very good set of cards or get an optimal Axie. But let's jump into the marketplace and see how much this team costs for Ant Panda if you want to build a team like that. Now the front lane beast is nowhere near being optimal, but it is a good set of cards. So he does have the Srastis, he does have the Cotton Tail, he also has the Confident on it, which sets it up for a good 0 cost card. And just putting those 3 cards in there, that price already jumps to $58, and not even putting in any more extra cards. He does have the Pappy, which I don't think he really ever used, so maybe going for something like the Clear or the Early Bird would have been better, but those prices are quite high, and I wouldn't recommend you buying a team right now because there's only 2 days till the end of the season, and those prices are very likely to drop because there might be some nerfs coming through. So this is the beast that we are looking at. When it comes to the mid lane, he's running a Nemo complemented with Pigeon Post, Pokey, A lamb is in there as well, but I don't think we're gonna get a lamb, as there's not many Axies that exist like that. And you can see already how little of Axies like that just exist, right? Only putting in 3 parts for each Axie, and we are limited to 7 Axies each. So that's why it's really good to get a good grasp of the meta and get yourself some Axies that can be useful, and you can potentially make some money by flipping them once you understand why some of the teams are really good, which is exactly what we're going to be doing for the next seasons upcoming. I just want to get myself ready with season 0, and hopefully you guys have learned with this episode how you can do that with a team like and Panda, who's currently rank 2. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough content, and I will see you in the next one.